Well, it definitely it takes some of the youth out of my face because you can see the white hair there.
You can see what
you can see the maturity, the experience.
Yeah, it's not the youth experience; it's the wisdom coming in, Len.
So welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to the digital download. And this is where we talk about what we've learned during the week, if there's any reports we've seen, and we're coming through to you by the very kind people at Restream.io. We'll do some quick introductions and then we'll get straight into it. So, do you want to go first, Mike? Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, everybody. Mike Garrison, Values-Based Mindset, DLA Ignite Partner. I love financial advisors.
Thank you. Adam?
I hate financial. No, I'm joking. I'm Adam Gray. I'm Tim's business partner at DLA Ignite. Yeah.
Savage.
Lenwood?
I'm Lenwood Ross, founder and CEO of Accelerate. We focus on digital transformation of large organizations, and we're a DLA Ignite partner as well.
And you're back from a week's holiday?
Yes.
Was it 1 week or two?
It probably felt like two because
it felt like two. But it was one.
I wasn't at the digital download on the Friday before either. I actually started my vacation on Thursday.
Thomas?
Hello, everybody. I'm Thomas Ross. I'm one of the founders of Social Selling HQ here in the U.S. We are digital transformation experts and DLA aficionados.
And last but not least, Eric Doyle.
Grazie. My name's Eric Doyle. I help people improve their situation with social media. I'm the co-founder of Crux, and I'm a very proud partner of this motley crew, DLA Ignite.
So I'm actually going to ask Eric to go first.
Oh,
because you've broken the mold.
Oh,
with LinkedIn Live, with your breakfast burrito.
Wow.
Can you share that with everybody about what you're doing?
You want to share my burrito?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow. My goodness. So there's always been a little bit of there's always been, for instance, when we go back to, I know that Adam's a very accomplished musician and guitar player and all of that. I only ever wanted to be a punk guitarist. That's as far as it went. 3 chords will do me. Jack White stripes, grindy sort of. So there's always been a little element of punkiness about everything that I've kind of done in my life. Always tried to be a little bit different, a little bit out there, and just try and push boundaries and see what works. So whenever we one of our big sort of philosophies is that you should make your space your own. You should try and find a groove, try and find an identity. So it's what we teach our clients to do. It's what we teach ourselves to do, and trying to find that voice, that tone, that image, that look that's different is important. So we had an opportunity once I got a LinkedIn Live license, and there's a story in that for another time about my failings in trying to get LinkedIn Live and the horrendous mistakes I made. But we just decided that myself, Matt, who just appeared there, Matt Pybus, and Kevin Milne, decided it was an opportunity to start something new. So we thought, what would be cool? There's a lot of business-based LinkedIn Lives out there. There's a lot of really good business-based LinkedIn Lives. There's a lot of really awful business-related LinkedIn Lives that just bore you to tears. So we thought, wouldn't it be cool to start a little kind of breakfast show that was for professionals? It had a professional kind of vein running through it. So we discussed some news items and stuff like that. But we wanted it to be like an entertaining radio show from back in the day, from back in the 90s. Not exactly Howard Stern, but somewhere in between Howard Stern and Chris Evans. So we have guests on. It's 45 minutes on a Thursday morning. There's a lot of fun. We have little featured sections. One of them is Matt's rants, where Matt complains about something horrendous that weekend. Kevin tells us what he's noticed in the news, good sort of business updates. Then we have guests on to talk about what's going on. This week we had CEO of Maximize, Alistair Dickinson. We have fun stuff that we're doing. We do best post of the week that we've seen on LinkedIn, so there's a social element. It's a bit bawdy. It's not particularly professional. It's a little bit rough, but that's the way we like it. And our lovely audience seems to react well to it. So we wanted to give someone an option. some people an option, and the option is that professional breakfast show. And we're fully aware that this will split the crowd. Not everyone's going to like this, but some people will, and we wanted to give people an option in the morning. And it just thrills me and thrills all of us, Matt and Kevin alike, that people would get up at 7:30 in the morning with their coffee and jump in and listen to this and be involved with us. It's just absolutely brilliant. So that's what the big live breakfast burrito is all about. Thursday morning, 7:45 to 8:30 UK time. And we may surprise you one day and may ask you to turn up as a guest. We do a 5-minute mystery guest where we bring a guest on for 5 minutes, and everyone, we give out clues who they're going to be, and then they come on and they're literally switched off after 5 minutes. It's just a bit fun and it's great.
So you've literally tried to break the constant stream of serious, what is blockchain, LinkedIn lives, and create something different, which I think is great to experiment with and innovate with.
Yeah, absolutely. The experimentation is part of it, because this might be, hi Nick Rayburn, this might be an abject failure. It doesn't seem so right now, but it feels good right now. But yeah, I think the big live breakfast burrito squared, we're giving people an option. If it works, we'll keep doing it. If we need to change it, we'll keep doing it. That very much lives within the concept of our whole content philosophy. We try it, and if it catches, great. If we need to modify it, brilliant, we will do that. Dear. So thank you, Nick. That's nice of you to say. So that's what it's about. It was trying to, and also, we talk to our clients about the fact that we need to own your space. You need to be comfortable with the fact that stream of content that you produce is yours. It's going out there. It should represent really who you are. And I have to say, a big part of what me, Matt, and myself, Matt, and Kevin are about is having fun. And if I'm not having fun doing what I'm doing, I stop doing it and do something else. And that applies to every facet of my life. Now, you get to that stage in your life where you realize, I'm not having fun doing this. This is awful. And, for many years, I just stayed in that this is awful mode. And now, if we want to have a bit of fun, we'll try it.
So a bit of, so you're breaking up and you're just trying something new on LinkedIn Live. And it just seems to be going down well.
I think so. Yeah, lovely reaction from people. Really nice reaction from people, and it's just terrific. Just terrific. We'll see where it goes. No grand aspirations. It's just a good thing, fun to do, and it just breaks up the week, and people seem to like it, which is great.
Is there anything else you want to share, Eric?
Yeah, well, if it's okay do you want to come back to me about this thing that I wanted to talk about, digital identity?
Yeah. So Lenwood, why don't you go next? Because you've not been on for a week, 2 weeks actually.
Sure. Well, I just came off this break, which was a much needed. I'll call it a mental health break. I mean, I had been going for a long time without a break, and I actually think I wasn't fully aware of the ways in which work from home and all that came with it, including, from the pandemic, was really affecting me. I think there may be many people out there who, when they think about the impact of the from a mental well-being standpoint of the pandemic, they think about it as it relates to other people and maybe are not as aware of how it may be impacting them. So, I've been talking about it a little bit since I got back, but Gensler, which is a big interior design firm here, focused on commercial interiors primarily, put out a nice article actually last year talking about how, not only will the office be different as people start making their way back over the next couple of months, but we will be different. And I think that that is hugely important. And they talked about how some of their clients are now focusing on resiliency training to and I think it's just interesting that it's been the pandemic that has brought that about, because the changes associated with digital disruption and how people are getting dislocated, how companies are going out of business because of digital disruption. And it's really the pandemic that's causing this focus on resiliency, when the huge changes that are underway because of digital, even social, right, as a subcategory of digital, require that resiliency training, help people adjust to the massive changes that are going on in our economy. So I just thought that I'd bring that up and see what other people thought about it. And I did share the article actually in a comment for the Restream today. So if you want to take a look at that article, you can. But anyway, that's my share for today.
Thanks, Lenwood. That's and you were pretty knackered before you went on holiday, if that's a word that comes across in American.
What does that mean?
Tired. You were very tired.
Oh yeah, I was.
Put it this way. Put it this way. When a horse is finished its life, we take it to the knackery.
We used the word knackered, meaning you were tired.
That was an Animal Farm where the horse went, right?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh boy. Well, I'm glad you didn't do that to me.
Good to see you back anyway, and you're
Totally.
bouncing and full of energy, and
Yeah, I feel better.
I think
I
you
need
bring
to
up
do
a really
better.
good point.
I talked about this also, which is that I just need to do better. And I think it's maybe, I won't say everyone, but just on a regular basis, taking time so I don't get so worn out. I actually had fallen into a habit of, it first started out, well, I'll work a half a day on Saturday and no time on Sunday. Then it went to I work all day on Saturday. Then it went to all day Saturday, half a day Sunday. And I just can't allow that slippage. I think it just, it's just one of those things, it's an easy thing to fall into, really easy. And you just got to draw
especially when the office is 10 steps from your living room, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too easy.
Oh, I just need to go upstairs and check on this one thing. And then 2 or 3 hours later, your kids are like, where's daddy?
Yeah, totally.
One of my favorite books, Essentialism, talks about how to do that, Lenwood, and he talks about you have to define buffers. You have to create space. And the image is struck with a castle. Like the moat's not good enough. You have to have a space between the moat and the forest so that you've got enough room to see the encroachment. And that, from a coach's perspective, nobody decides to go bankrupt. But when you look back, you see all these small little steps. Very rarely does it occur like that. So I think you're absolutely right about that focus on resiliency. And I can clearly see how it affects every organization.
Yeah.
And I love Robert's comment there about working to live, not living to work.
Right.
It is a hard lesson to learn.
Yeah, I think it's very easy to fall into that trap if you like what you do as well. If you're in a job you hate, it's quite easy to have the demarcation at the end of the day. But if you're passionate about what you do and if it's your business, then it doesn't really feel like work, does it? So, like you said, Lenwood, you just pop into the office, just got a couple of things to do, and then you get wrapped up in answering questions or creating content, or I just want to finish that thing I was writing. And then before you know, the day is gone. And yeah. But it's a lesson we all need to learn, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think that will probably have been cemented for a lot of people during lockdown. Because they've been in this pressure cooker of home and work all the time. They're probably in a similar sort of situation to what you were, Lenwood, where the you time and the family time had contracted to be almost nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. There are some statistics out there that show, I think it's something like 7 in 10 people, 8 in 10 people are struggling with this very issue, primarily as a result of working from home. having the work space be the same as the living space. So
I think I've always been. I think it occurred to me about 20 years ago. I had an argument with an HR director who was talking about our work-life balance program, because you have to have a program for it. You have to have a procedure for work-life balance, right? You have to write it down, tell people how that works. And I had this argument. It just hit me. Maybe I read it. I'm quite open to the fact that maybe I read it and it's someone else's idea. But I started to think about, and I'm now employing this whole methodology to content. I'm thinking about this. I think we touched on it last week. But I had this argument that for me, it's not about a work-life balance, because the two are not mutually exclusive. They're mixed into a pot. It's a life balance. So my life included at the time rugby and socializing and holidays and mountain biking and work and kids and family life. If I do any one of them too much, everything else suffers. And I don't want anything to suffer, because I don't really want anything to go. I love the life. I love the kind of randomness that I have, and the fact that I've got so many things that make up Eric's life, and there'll be Mike's life and Adam's life and Thomas's life and all of that. And actually, it's about that whole life balance. And I've found personally that my whole life balance, I used to think I was the master at this whole life balance. I never let one thing get too much of the room and too much of the noise and take up too much of it. That was about that whole life balance. If I just go and spend all my time watching rugby, I'll end up out of work and I'll have no family. If I spend all the time with the family, I'll have no work and I'll have no rugby. It's got to be the balance. And I found that this working from home thing has blurred those lines for me, smashed the whole program for me and the whole system. And I need to go back to reset all of that and reevaluate it. So
yeah.
it's broken.
And how are you doing that? Have you worked that out, or?
No, I don't. I'll have to hand on heart right now. I don't think I have. I'm right in the midst of the understanding. The first step for me was understanding, this is broken. And I'm now just understanding it and just writing down, oh dear, everything's kind of out of balance at the moment. I need to fix it.
Yeah. Thanks, Robert. I agree. Yeah. Mike, have you got something to add?
I just had, I really love what you said, Eric. And in all my time coaching people, I've never seen one word throw people off more than balance, right?
That's brilliant. That is excellent.
Because it's utter mitigated bullshit. It's not true. Like human beings, we're creatures that need to align. So I use the word alignment because not everything is equally important. And so like when we try and take a term like balance and apply it to our lives, it gets you started, which is why I love where you're at. But I will just say that without exception, every client I've worked with in the past 2 decades that started looking and reflecting and reviewing what alignment meant to them, much easier for them. Because I don't try and balance some things because they're not equally important to me. Like my faith is more important, period. And then other things aren't. That doesn't mean that they're not important. They're just not as important. So I align things. And Tim, when we get to it, that's kind of what my post is about this morning. Is not everything is equal in importance, And so you're on the right track, Eric. Keep the balance thing because it is valuable. But then ask yourself, once I can perceive all of these different factors, what compass direction, what alignment puts it into place? Because that's where everybody falls apart. Is if the mental mindset framework is about trying to make everything work together, you sometimes get off the rails. I
love that. No, totally. I love that. I mean, I was coming from a percentage that there were percentages of association that were associated with that. Like, for instance, if I align myself too much with red wine, I'm going to be in trouble.
No,
because that. No, but I know exactly what you mean, and that's cool. And I would also like to have a chat with you about that because that's cool. That's really cool. Thank you.
Just not at 2:45 a.m. Lenwood wants to be on your radio show.
That's brilliant. No, thank you, and I love that. Nothing throws people off. What was it? Nothing throws what? What was
nothing throws people off more than balance.
Yeah,
nothing puts people off more than balance.
Yeah, because we know what balance is kinesthetically.
Yeah.
Right, and so we can't escape. Like we can't redefine terms and maintain sanity. So I always say, like, what is balance really? And once they tell me it, I go, is that how your life works? And they're like, no. I said, okay. So useful. Now, what's the next level? How do we get to consistent and sustained performance improvement? Alignment. That comes from a military guy, you know, land navigation.
Love it. Love it.
I think this actually relates a lot to what we, Eric sort of alluded to it, what we think of in terms of our philosophy of LinkedIn, how we approach LinkedIn is really being integrated on LinkedIn and not being all work, right? The big breakfast burrito. Is that it? Is it a big breakfast burrito?
Hey, it is now.
It's a big lie.
It is now.
Anyway.
Can you stop saying it? Because the more everyone says it, the more embarrassed they get about it.
Well, the big breakfast burrito.
It's a, you know, when we go to work, we're not all work. I mean, you don't go into the office and you're 100% the whole time, you know, work. The people who are, you know what you call them, right?
Yes.
So there is a lot of being social and having fun and jokes, and it's a good idea to have your content reflect the total you on LinkedIn.
Amen.
It's good advice. So, Thomas.
Yes. I'm afraid to go anywhere else. This has been such a deep conversation.
Hey, we cover philosophy here. We cover.
Got a tear in my eye.
Well, I'm going to take a slight detour if that's okay, guys. But before I do, I will say that I agree with all of that. And you know, as you get older, and your kids grow up, and you're not as involved in your kids' activities with sports and running them around, and then you suddenly shift and all of those things. I mean, I've never had a real job since I was a kid because I've always worked for myself. So I've always had the ability to shift and do things as I need to, and I've always had a blast doing everything I do. So it's all as you said, Eric, and it's in my profile. And I tell people, if you're not having fun, you're in the wrong damn job. Go find something you're having fun at, because this isn't going to work. I don't care what it is, right? You have to have fun.
Cheers, Robert.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Robert.
So it's all great. But now for the detour. So a few weeks ago, a large IT organization in the U.S. reached out to us and asked us if we'd be interested in partnering, because they have some customers that were and are asking them questions that they don't have answers to, which I thought was a pretty interesting way for that to begin. And what they do is, and they actually support a rather large CRM organization, who shall go nameless for the moment, globally, but certainly in the U.S. And they support a lot of IT endeavors as far as development and integration goes, and a lot of those kinds of things. They're technology experts. They've got about in that one area, they've got 300-400 people that are active in that area. And more their clients are asking them, okay, so now we've done the software solution, or we've done the integration, and we've done the process. But what are we going to do now with social and digital, and how do we now get our people actually doing the things they're supposed to be doing with this stuff, right? and it was funny, because in the call, I asked him, so what are you telling them? And he says, well, we told them that we were going to get back to them, right? And I guess that's what led to their reaching out to us in that regard, because there's still this big gap. Just because you have technology in place doesn't mean anything with reference to the use thereof in general. And when it comes to humans being social and leveraging that in a way that's impactful for business, that's a whole other conversation that we're all very good at having. And I think much of what we've talked about today highlights that so well. In that we're interested in the people side of the technology, not the technology side of the technology. Technology is not here to be served by humans, right? Humans are here to use technology to serve the rest of us. And I think we get lost in that, and companies forget about that. We can buy this and fix everything, and everybody will be good, and I just have to wait till the next time I got to buy something else. But for now, I'm good. And of course, none of that works.
How many thousands of people stood up at kickoff meetings or at town halls in massive organizations where one of the leaders said, and next year you're all going to be really excited to hear we're putting a new ERP system in, and everybody goes, yes, come on, come on. Yeah.
And the big question is, did we have one in place here already?
Yeah, we've had it for 10 years.
Yeah, didn't we have one and nobody used it?
Yeah.
Is there a system here already? Yeah.
That's the huge group in the crowd that goes, oh, the old ERP is gone.
Oh, ERP, yeah. Here we go.
But one of the things that's changed with the working from home, and to the extent that continues and how it continues remains to be seen. But one of the things that changes is that people that didn't have a voice in an organization have developed one.
Yeah.
Right. So the people who were back in the pecking order, whatever that means, in any given company, were very silent. They didn't have a voice. But Zoom meetings and this online change gave them a voice. And it also changed who has the, I don't want to use the word power, but who has the most impact in an organization. So it's changed how an organization runs and where they're getting their inputs from. And how that works. And we've seen that coming for years with committees now running businesses as opposed to just a single contact source. But that's really come to be in this age. And that's one of the great things that I think is going to really impact what we do.
The people and the collective power of the people are beating the brand.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and becoming stronger than the brand.
You've heard it. I mean, companies are now saying, we're trying to hire people, and people are actually telling us, if you don't give me a hybrid option, I'm not interested.
Mm.
And they're turning down dollars, right? Higher paying jobs for hybrid opportunities. So that says a lot. And companies are going to have to wake up, and they are waking up because they don't have a choice. And that's part of what we do.
Love it.
That's actually happening faster than I thought it would happen. I knew that would happen, but it's remarkable how fast it's happening. That even in the process of going back to work, people are saying, I'm out if I don't have a hybrid option.
Okay. I was going to say, I think that's in part true. Part of me thinks, when you look at people's behavior in general, this has been a period of treading water when normal rules have not applied. So, you haven't been able to go out to the pub or the bar or to the cinema or to shows or whatever. And now you can. All of a sudden, everybody's rushing out to those places again without any real thought for whether or not it's appropriate to do that straight away, or whether or not we should have a phased approach. And I think that you're right. This working from home has democratized the power within an organization because people have a voice, because everybody's now got a platform for sharing their views on things and agreeing or disagreeing with what other people or factions within an organization are saying. But do we think that's a permanent transition? Or do we think that when lockdown and the pandemic passes and normal life returns, and I don't think it will ever go back to quite how it was before, but there will be an element of a shift, 2 steps forward and 1 back kind of thing. Do we think that organizations will start to reinforce the old power structures within organizations? Because one of the things that I've observed with all of our engagements with companies is that they don't actually want to change most of the time. They say they want to change, and they want to change right up until the point that it says, you need to change. And then they go, actually, that's not such a good idea because it requires me to do something different. When we're implementing social within organizations, it's very easy for us to show salespeople what they need to do. And sales management are all behind that 100%. until we say to the sales management, and you need to lead from the front. So you need to share personal stuff. You need to create a personal profile. You need to post every day. You need to engage with people. And all of a sudden, I'm too busy. I'm not customer facing. It's like generals, isn't it? In their nice warm offices, moving little pieces around on the map whilst soldiers go over the top and get shot. And
I think, Adam, that one of the things, I talk to a lot of people who work in the future of workspace. And I think there's a view that for the next 2 years, there's going to be a massive shuffling around of people. Because people are actually going to say, there's going to be some people that are of a certain age are going to say, actually, I'm not going to go back to work. There's other people who are, for example, my partner's 26-year-old who can't wait to get back in the office because he loves the sociability of it. But there's also people who are saying, because the thing is that nobody actually defines what hybrid is. So you have working from home and you have being in an office, and then you get Google announcing that you need to be in the office 2 days a week. Well, that's actually the same as being in the office or working from home. They haven't changed anything. So hybrid isn't defined. And what you've got is a whole bunch of people that are actually saying, do you know, I don't want to commute 2 hours there and back. I mean, your commute into London is what, 2 hours each way?
Yeah, 2 hours each way.
And it's $150 cost to go to a speculative meeting where someone may turn around and say, well, I actually don't like you and I'm not going to buy from you.
Or may,
why would you do that?
Meeting, cancel it.
Yeah. Or where the trains don't run and you ring me and I'm in Chelmsford and I'm not going to make the meeting. So it's like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Is it somewhat a shift from the industrialized view of management to something new, which maybe is outcome based? You know, because I see so much of how we used to do things as if human beings were just.
It's the factory system that was built in the Industrial Revolution, where the whole point was that you gave people things to do between 9 and 5:30. And none of us work like that anymore because you've got children to take to the school or elderly parents to look after, or, you know, you've got to do, you know, whatever it is, but you do your job.
Yeah. I mean,
so when you start looking at Mike's outcomes and your proper flexibility, that seems like more of a high, you know, that seems as if it could possibly be more like the definition of what hybrid, the intention of hybrid means. You know, as long as if you're required to do X in a day, as long as you do X in that day, and that, you know, as long as you do that, you could do 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, 2 hours at midnight if you wanted. That's fine, as long as it's done.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, I have customers who prospect between bathing the kids and putting them to bed and going to bed themselves. Because that's the, you know, you were talking about priorities and where, you know, at the end of the day, where do you put the pieces, and you've got to do certain things in the day. Okay, I'm going to do it at that point of the day. Yeah, because it's useful for them. But yeah, I mean, and the companies that are saying you've all got to be back in the office, they're the people that will struggle with the talent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I think the in the office, I can see you model also developed at a time where you couldn't really measure the outcome and use data to understand what people are doing, you know, without seeing them. Right. So I don't know how you can say you're an outcome data-driven organization and still say people need to be in the office in order for me to you know, make sure they're working.
Where's Steve gone? Has he had 2 hours for lunch?
Must not be doing anything.
Well, you can't. I hope he's going to stay another hour later tonight. I mean, you know, come on.
But isn't it also funny how the
21st century?
Isn't it also funny how the dynamics changed? That, you know, we used to worry. I mean, I'm thinking back to the last kind of corporate deals that I had. Whenever we were employing anyone that was by in any way near millennial, they would have a different approach to what they wanted from their employment contract. And the Gen X and baby boomers would look upon that as being snowflakish. Oh, they want to work flexible hours and all that. We work 9 to 6, and that's what you do, because that's how you do it. And now that's all flipped. And I've got friends who are in their 50s and late 40s now saying, well, I won't be working for a company that wants me to go into an office again. I want to have the right to work where I want.
Yeah.
That's great. Terrific.
Yeah, and my partner's 26-year-old. He's off to Portugal. He'd do it before they close the doors, and to work. But if his company said to him, "No, you're not going to do that," because he can work in Portugal. It's actually the same time zone as London. He can work in Portugal and be, Mike's at his mum's. Mike could always work at his mum's. It doesn't matter where you are.
All Mike needs is this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his mum's phone.
Incredible.
It's so interesting.
Apple is Apple.
It's interesting because it also relates to Airbnb's recent announcement that they believe their platform can replace the landlord, and that this sort of permanent nomad where you're traveling around and living in a location for 3, 4, 5 months and then moving somewhere else. I mean, that's a completely new type of lifestyle that totally unavailable to anyone before the platform economy. So I just think it's so short-sighted to say everyone's got to go back.
Then when it's the new hunter-gatherer.
Do you think it's hunter-gatherer?
Well, just that mobility, you move from one place to another. When you look at all this stuff, I think the biggest mistake that managers and leaders made is trying to be like every other business, whether it's in your vertical or in general. And the better question is always, what's important to our company? And more importantly, what is very important to our clients? Like what do we need to do to be able to talk to our clients the way they want to be talked to and deliver them the products that they want? And then you examine it. Like, so if you are in a metal fabrication shop, well, you're probably not doing that from home, right? Because that particular business, but the people that gravitate toward that business are going to like that. And so it's really about understanding what your tribe and your business requires, and then what the tribe that you're selling to requires, and find, I almost said balance, Eric, but aligning what you're doing.
Well, you haven't said referral, though, have you?
No, what?
That's a great point.
Oh, sorry, you're breaking up. You're breaking up.
Yeah. What is that? What are those things?
Sorry, Mike. You were on the. You were. I interrupted you.
Well, yeah, you used a foreign language, and is that Gaelic? Is that word, or is that Scottish?
That's garlic.
Well, hey, how about this? Let's talk about my thing. You ready?
Let's talk about your thing, Mike.
Let's talk about Mike's thing. Mike's thing, and you feature on the show.
It's my big.
Let's do a jingle.
Mike's thing.
Mike's thing.
So here we go. Right?
Adam, you could write something in a kind of like Pasha Bell kind of
listen
about it. Mike's thing.
Yeah, get my keyboard out, do a little jingle.
Or a guitar.
Yeah.
Or a guitar.
Yeah.
We built this up now. This thing better be good.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, so here's the deal. What I've really noticed, and the Merrill Lynch thing over the last couple of weeks has got me thinking, like, what is going to stop?
So the Merrill Lynch thing where they've stopped cold calling.
Well, they banned it.
They've banned cold calling.
Yeah, it never
And
happened.
cold calling. Not just stopped it as a policy. Do it,
Right.
and we'll break you.
So in my opinion, the biggest mistake anyone in business is making when they look at that is thinking that it's just about prospecting, and nothing could be farther from the truth. What they're really talking about is the way that they have conversations with clients is going to be social. That social is going to be the alignment system and the data measurement system for how they converse with current clients. And if you are a financial advisor, you should be scared to death if you're not on social, having conversations with your clients right now. If you're not connected to them, if they don't find you interesting enough to comment on your posts, you are just waiting. You're just waiting for them to be taken away. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today is I don't know what I did to be cursed with this. Tim and I were talking about it earlier, but I have seen more posts this week about the miracle, blueprint for how to tweak your LinkedIn algorithm, do this, do that, do this, do that, right? And it's just like a lot of these things is there's one piece of truth or maybe 5 pieces of truth in the post, but all it is noise and confusion. Because my question is always this, and it's based upon the training that I got from Adam and Tim. It's like, so you're on social. How many actual conversations are you having with prospective clients? I don't care about your conversations with other people in your business. I don't care about your conversations with other people in your industry. At the end of the day, how many conversations are you having with prospective clients? And if you can't tell me that, you're just on social. You're not actually doing anything that's going to be rewarding. And I think I know why. It was funny. Adam's post this morning, it was a great post. You guys should look it up. Was about if you do the work, it gets easy, right? That if you have a strategy, that if you're intentional about how you approach this, if you're working within a system, it gets easy. The problem is most people are A to Z, right? And so a lot of financial advisors, a lot of salespeople look at social and they feel like they're at A. Oh no, social's real and I got to do something. And then they hear everyone talking about these tactics and these tips, and they don't know how to get there. They don't know how to move from A to Z. And I'll tell you this, you ready? Conversations. If you want one tip that will change your life, spend time on social, finding out people that are in your target market that are posting, and then comment on their posts like a human being, not like an automated sales bot. Like, hey, Adam, I'd love to talk to you later. Like, who are you? But I guess that's my
Hey, Adam, here's one of my brochures.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for your brochure because I've not had a brochure from anyone today.
Hey, Tim, I'm a social selling evangelist. Oh, sorry. But
Hey, Adam. I'd love to discuss your business goals with you.
Excellent. I'm more than happy to share. I'm more than happy to share the most intimate, personal, strategic objectives that we have as a company with you, because it says that you're an expert in your headline. I've no bleeding idea who you are.
Totally. So that's my thing out for you guys is like everyone talks about KPIs, and for me, there's only one KPI that really matters: conversations. What do you say?
Yeah. I think there's an overarching KPI that's perhaps a bit more critical, but certainly the lead into that is conversations. Yeah. Adam's sensing it. Show me the money. But I think you're absolutely right. That overarching principle ain't going to come if you're not having conversations. Simple as that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, without a doubt.
Thank you, Mike.
Oh,
Adam.
So what have I learned this week?
Yeah.
I need more guitars. That's what I've learned this week. Joking aside, though, I haven't. I mean, often I find that I don't necessarily learn things, but I have lessons revisited to me. So I was having a first conversation with somebody earlier today, and I explained to them that top overarching view of how you socialize your organization and what needs to happen. And you guys, the guys that are on the call, this. We have to simplify this for people. We have to try to demystify this so people feel that making this change is within their grasp.
Yes.
So the first thing you need to do is to create a compelling personal brand. You need to look different from everybody else. You need to look memorable. You need to look human. You need to look approachable. Then when you've done that, you basically need to do 3 things. You need to grow your network into the organizations and with the people that you want to be having a conversation with. Because if you're not connected into a company, If a company employs 20,000 people and you're connected to one of them, you're unlikely to be seen and get any traction. When you've connected into those companies, you need to start engaging with their content. Like you said, I think, Mike, you need to engage with their content so that they recognize you and they think, oh, here's someone that's listening to my content. And then when they've had a feeling about you, they'll start to notice your content. And then you need to regularly publish stuff. And you need to publish stuff every single day because, as Tim said on one occasion, the thing is that I've never heard of anybody that sent an email to a company saying, is everything okay? I've not received your marketing circular this week. So if you're not publishing stuff, you're not visible. So I laid this out and I said, there's a little bit more to it than that. And there's refinements that you need to do. And there are processes that you need to put in place to sweep up all of the things that come out of it. But it's basically, that's what it looks like. And this person said, yeah, I hear what you're saying. But the thing is that, I feel that I've got the balance about right. So my profile is actually as I want to present myself, and I publish some good content which gets really good traction. And of course, excuse my French, that's horse shit. Their profile made them look exactly like everybody else, and the stuff they published once a month got 10 likes. All of them were for people that worked for them. So there was zero value in this, in creating any of these things that they were doing. And it was really interesting for me having that kind of realization that we all build barriers and construct rationales that justify our behavior in these spaces. So it wasn't, I don't want to publish more content because I'm too lazy. I haven't got time. I'm not confident writing things. I don't feel I've got anything to say. I don't feel I'm an expert. I don't think I have the right, whatever the real reason is. The justification was, I don't want to be too in the face of the people that I want to be seen by. And I think that this is a repeating pattern. And the interesting thing is that when the actual process is laid out in front of people, and again, it's a Tim quote, this, we worked with a guy and Tim and I wrote a book together, and this guy read the book. And he said to Tim, well, it's not all that. I could have written that. And Tim deadpan just looked at him and said, yeah, but you didn't, did you? And when we lay out the strategy to people, this is what you need to do. It's these simple series of steps. And they say, yeah, well, I can do that. Yeah, but you don't. And this lesson just keeps being revisited to me. So that's what I wanted to share. It's another one of those aha moments when this is a repeating pattern. And I genuinely think that people are scared to put themselves out there. And we know this, it's our job as coaches when we work with those people to remove that fear and bolster their confidence and make them realize that they have got something to say and the world does want to listen to them.
Because it's easier to fire off emails to people. So I was out. I took the day off yesterday.
How dare you?
Why was that, Tim?
It was my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Tim.
Thank you very much.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And we left at 10 o'clock. I was back at 3:30, 4 o'clock. And I had 48 spam emails.
Yeah.
48. And of course you do what you do with any junk mail. You just pick them up and put them in the bin. But I'm sure the people that sent them were well-meaning, but it's just easier to fire them off because you feel that you've done something. Oh yes, I've sent 10,000 spam emails today. Well, that's a good day. I'll go and get a beer. The fact that everybody else has to then pick up all that shit and put it in the bin and don't. I didn't read any of it. Of course, I didn't.
I got a question on the basis of that, because that brings up a really good point. And this goes to what Mike was saying. How many emails do you send a day versus how many direct messages do you send a day?
Oh, God. A lot more direct messages.
Yeah. I haven't sent an email today yet, I don't think.
No, I don't think I've sent one.
Yeah, I don't
Don't
think
use
I have
it.
either.
This morning I sent probably I went through just some of my old connections that I do from time to time, people that I've not spoken to for ages, and just sent them a message saying, "Hi, how's you?" And I probably did 20 of those, and half a dozen of them have come back, and we're in the midst of a conversation. And so much of this is just about recognizing that we're connected. Therefore, every now and again, we need to have a chat. And maybe there's something in it for me. Maybe there's something in it for you. Maybe we're just waving at each other and giving each other a pat on the back. It's what networking is about, isn't it?
But it also shows that everybody's gravitated, at least those that are conscious, have gravitated to that process, right?
Yeah.
And that emails, we don't send them, and all we get is crap, right? For the most part. And if I want to talk to Adam, I'm not sending Adam an email, right? I know how that's going to go. So I'm reaching out directly, and probably this morning I've sent 30 or more DMs. I haven't sent any. Now I probably will today, because there's still a couple of people in my network that I know if I don't email them, they won't see anything, right? Because they're not conscious yet. But you get my point.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mother's 83, and she always complains that it's old people that send emails.
So there you go. I can't be the lone rider here. I run a business. We've got clients. We've got commercial interaction going on. For over a year, all I've used my Outlook for is sending contractual documentation and booking meetings. Booking Zoom calls. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's it. You're right, Adam. One thing that you said is really powerful, that I think people are missing when it comes to how do I help my organization be more successful on LinkedIn. And it's that you can't have just training alone, that you must have coaching. And that coaching is delivered by the people doing the training. Like, if you don't have that, the research when I was selling training franchises 15 years ago, the research was that you had a 98% increase on ROI when you combine training and coaching. I'm sure it's higher now, but that's really one of the key points is don't bring in a social selling evangelist. That was just for you, Tim, by the way. Don't bring in a social selling evangelist or point one, but partner with a firm that's going to do training and coaching, because the coaching is the hard part of the process.
Yeah.
The coaching is the hard part. The coaching is where you need expertise. I hate to say it, but a lot of people can train. Not everyone is willing to coach.
And that's the difference, Mike, between death by PowerPoint, where you just sit and basically present facts on a presentation, and actually sitting down with people and giving them a safe environment in which to try those things out, and allowing them to make mistakes. Because the classic example is what you do is you present a whole load of PowerPoints. I remember Adam and I were in Chicago, and the person that was with us said, "Why are you waiting and allowing people to do the work in front of you? They can do that at home on the weekend." And we said, "Yeah, but they won't." And what we're doing is that we're providing a safe environment so that if they want to ask any questions, and everybody does, because nobody will get everything that you say, people don't learn by having hundreds of PowerPoints shoved down their throats.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't fail when you're there to help them, how are they supposed to be successful when they're by themselves?
I'm just chip in here, and I don't mean to upset any apple carts, but there's a big part of this. You need a reciprocal kind of a reciprocal investment. What Mike just said there about lots of people are willing to train, less people are willing to coach. You must also, if you're going to be in that, you must be coachable.
Yeah.
You must be open to being coached.
Period.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Eric, that's not easy.
No.
That sounds really easy, but it's not.
Totally. Ego, social circumstance, prowess, job positions, salaries.
I'll give a good case example. The first time I met Tim and Adam, in our boardroom when they started training us, and Adam will attest to this. I pushed back hard, didn't I, Adam?
Mm.
Right, and I didn't like. Yeah, I did not like or agree with the idea that my header should say something other than whatever it said at the time.
Results, period.
Sales Slayer. Slayer of deals.
Whatever it was. The point is,
Results, period.
it is hard to realize, you know, this person has something that's really valuable, really important, and if I don't listen, I'm going to be stuck in my own little box,
Yeah.
And I will not grow, and my business will fail. And I listened to Adam, and I listened to Tim, and here we are today, and it's, you know, it's the power of what that brings, and we now carry that to everybody else. So I thank you two profusely for banging my head around enough such that it actually started to see sense.
It took 5 years.
I think we ended up rolling around on the floor, like punching each other or something.
It may have come to blows. I'm not sure, but
it's really, you know, Eric had said something about identity earlier, and I think that
a piece on that.
Yes.
Yeah,
do you want to? Because we got 5 minutes, Eric.
Yeah, I want Eric to talk about that.
Yeah, so this has been a beautiful week. If you were to ask me to headline my week, it's
headline your week, Eric.
Headline my week. Headline Eric's week.
Headline your week.
Headline your week. It's been the subject of digital identity has been a common theme throughout the week. Coaching a bunch of clients from different sectors and organizations, and beginning to now touch in. So the phased approach of getting people used to, as Adam said, posting every day, connecting with prospects, influencers, amplifiers, and engaging with people, exercising that muscle and getting it going is fine, right? And we want people to get that muscle memory going. It's like going to the gym and the personal trainer saying, we're going to start you on the 3 kg weights. But then we need to get people up to the 5K, 10K, 20K. And we're at that point now where we're asking people to really think about what they want to be known for. Now, in a throwaway statement, what do you want to be famous for, right? So that to some people just makes them go, judder a little bit. But actually, we're now at the point where you're posting content every day. If I was to look at that content and that beautiful profile that we've now created, would I be able to tell what you're offering the world without you selling it to me? So all of that content that you're putting out, will I be able to look at that and be able to understand what you want to be, what your digital persona, your digital identity is trying to say about you? So working that through with clients this week has been an absolute joy. So a marketing leader, I asked them what they wanted to be known for. And of course, the initial question is, well, being a brilliant marketing leader. Well, yeah, no, that's what you do. What if we strip that down and boil it away? And there's a little process we use to get to the resonance. Well, actually, the conversation came out. I want to be known for, if this is about the true core of me and what I want to be known for and what legacy I want to leave in this digital imprint, I want to be known for positivity and good spirit. Wow, right? A sales leader did exactly the same thing. Well, of course, I want to be known as the guy who sells, you know, this X, Y, and Z, and I want to be actually, when we boiled it down, I want to be the person that's known for attention to detail, that I'm there for you, and that I'm dependable, right? So keeping that, a CEO that I'm working with said that I want, once we did the process, you know, well, I'm the leader, I'm the boss. I want people, the legacy I want to leave and the imprint I want to leave is about people development people. It's my passion, it's my love, and also innovation, right? So let's go back to what your profile says and what your content says about you. If someone was reading this for the first time, would they get positivity and good spirit? Would they get attention to detail, being there for you and dependable? Would they get people development and innovation? And if the answer is no, to anybody out there who's thinking, you know, am I leaving this imprint? If the answer is, if you've written down 2 to 3 things that you want to be absolutely known for in the digital world, go and look at your content, look at your profile, or get someone else to do it, which is a great thing, and say, feed that back to me. What am I telling the world? Danielle Guzman says that a good social presence and profile, she should be able to read it and within an hour be able to feed back to you what your 30-second elevator speech is about what your life is and what you're contributing to the world. And if she can't do that, if we can't do that, you've got a problem. So establishing that digital identity has been a joy this week. Not easy, but an absolute joy to find people that are now opening their shoulders and accepting, right, I get this. It's not just about slapping crap up there. It's about actually defining my digital identity. And that's been a little headline joy for me this week.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Any comments on that, Adam?
I'm going to go back and look at my digital identity.
Yeah, I'm like thinking to myself, let me go look and see what I'm putting out there.
I think you're all pretty safe.
I opened mine up while you were talking, Eric. I was like, oh, okay.
No, but it's a great
someone else to do it.
Great way to close, really.
Get someone else to do it. My little last header is might not be so relevant to our friends over in the United States. It's National Fish and Chip Day. That's important.
We're about deep fried chicken and donuts.
That's good enough. That's good enough.
I had an amazing bottle of red wine last night.
Ooh. What type?
It was a
Red one.
Oh, there's only one kind of wine, my friend.
was that a Merlot or a Pinot?
It was a good word. It was a Shiraz, but it was a Blue-Eyed Boy, which is a really nice Shiraz, and it was freaking spectacular. You understand that white wine is just adult soda.
I do think there's a place for it. I do adult soda. I think there's a place for it, and it's in a coastal restaurant just as the sun's going down in Crete or Corfu or somewhere like that, with a fish dish and some horta and some cold white wine.
Now I might have a rosé if I was doing that.
If there's nothing else, like if there's no red wine, I guess you can drink white. That's okay.
A Blue-Eyed Boy Shiraz. Oh, looks amazing.
It is.
Where's it from?
The McLaren Valley.
Right.
In Australia is unbelievable.
So seeing as you're a connoisseur, Mike and Eric, when I first met my wife and I went over for dinner at her house with her parents that first time, her dad, who at the time was quite a keen buyer of good wine, bought a case of wine called Silver Oak, which is a limited edition Napa Valley Chardonnay. And he said, "Would you like a bottle?" "Oh, thank you very much." And I've still got it. I think it was 1989 Silver Oak. Anyway, I don't drink anymore, thanks to Tim for that.
Oh, thank you.
It's a pleasure. Traveling with Tim, I just kind of like, well, he doesn't drink, so actually, it's been like 2.5 years now that I've not.
See, the Scottish thing would be all the more for me.
In fairness, in the early days, it was a bit like that. I felt like I was drinking for two, and then in the end, I thought, if you can't beat it, fine. But I'm now looking for an excuse to open that, and I've also got a bottle of Dom Perignon from 1980 that I bought when I was on tour with an orchestra, which again I'm waiting for an excuse to open.
So I don't know if it's the same one, but the wine searcher is saying that your 1999 bottle of it's not Cabernet Sauvignon, is it?
No, I don't think so. I'll hook it out next time and show you.
So Mike was drinking some 40 pound up. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's not the kind of red wine that's been downed in Casa Doyle right now.
Well, I do a lot of I specialize in between about $15 to $25. That's
right. Okay,
that's kind of the tranche that I mess in, and I spend a lot locally and a lot at winelibrary.com. There you go, Gary V. Send me a T-shirt.
Right.
Really
good. Well, we have. I thought I'd let the conversation go because we're having a little good chat there. But we've completed our hour.
We made it again.
Thank you, everybody, for bringing something along and contributing. Thank you for everybody for tuning in and the comments and thank you to Restream.io for the platform. And everybody have a great weekend.
Thank you. Happy birthday.
Thank you. It even says on Lenwood's whiteboard, happy birthday, Tim.
Yeah, good move.
Brilliant.
Good move. All right, see you.